welcome to another episode of the Mighty Movie Pod, episode number 107. My name is Ryan.
I'm Josh.
And we're back in your ear holes for another thrilling edition. What's up?
Yo.
What's going on?
You know.
Give the people what they want.
Give the people what they want.
An update on the Josher.
An update on the Josher. Haven't microwaved anything crazy lately. Sorry, boys.
Well, I tried, everybody. The Oscars just happened.
Yeah, that was a thing.
We're going to talk about a movie. Actually, I'm not sure what we're talking about. We're at least talking about one movie.
We're talking about one movie at the very least.
That's right. We're talking about one movie here.
And maybe a show?
No.
No, I was denied.
That's a sneak peek for next episode.
Ooh.
We're gonna have two shows to talk about. But yeah, we're talking about a movie that was not Oscar nominated because it wasn't eligible. It'll be next year.
Yes.
But you know, the last movie we talked about, it's the very first Godzilla movie to ever win an Academy Award.
I thought we were going to talk about Aquaman 2's big win.
No, it unfortunately did not come away with any Oscars.
Shit.
But yeah, the first Godzilla movie to win an Academy Award.
Yeah.
So look at that.
Yeah. Whatever that means.
It doesn't mean a lot.
No, not anymore.
Josh doesn't believe in the useless masturbatory pageantry of the Oscars, but it is a tradition.
I'm above such things.
I've been doing for way too long, and you know it's the same show. It's still just as dumb.
Yeah, who hosted this year?
It's been Kimmel for the last few years.
Okay, so it was.
He's kind of the new. Yeah, he's kind of the new
Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal. Yeah.
Okay.
No, they didn't get fucking Anne Hathaway and James Franco to host it or whatever.
Or Chris Rock. Didn't Chris Rock do the last one?
I think Chris Rock did do one of them. Yeah.
Because that's the one where he got slapped the shit out of.
Well, he got slapped, but he was just a presenter. But
okay,
yeah. But I believe he has hosted it before. I've been watching it for so long. It's all really fucking blended together. But we got a high profile fucking movie on the books this week, Josh.
Congrats to Godzilla -1. It did deserve that. But yeah. Anyway.
One for visual effects.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cool because as we talked about, when we talked about the movie, it's written, directed, and the visual effects supervisor was all one guy.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Hey.
So technically, it's the best director. Best picture.
There we go. Best picture.
Yeah. Anyway, we're talking about a big one.
A big one.
A big one. The biggest.
The biggest.
The biggest. The biggest movie of all time. People said it. People say it.
People say that. I walked into the theater. I said, wow, this is a big movie.
I walked in. That's what I was going to do. Look at the crowd. No one's ever showed up for more people have never showed up for a movie ever.
So I've been waiting, Josh. I've been waiting to bring up this gripe with. I had a gripe. I have a bone to pick with you.
Oh dear.
I'm cross with you.
Okay.
To talk about our movie going experience.
Yes.
Now it wasn't the speaker to our left, the rear left surround speaker was blown out.
Yeah.
That's not your fault. Maybe.
Wow.
If they blew it out while they were playing fucking Godzilla, I guess.
Right. Dude, it was the same theater, wasn't it?
No, but I'm just like, remember how loud that was? And it actually sounded really good.
Right.
Anyway, that one was a little blown out. So you could only hear it in certain scenes. But a couple of old people who want to open fucking hard candies in the middle of the fucking theater.
Yeah.
I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah.
It's a thing they do. I think they do it on purpose. But I told you beforehand, I said, you were like, I'm going to buy the tickets. I said, no. I have movie credits, and I'm going to pick the seat so I can put myself on the edge.
Yeah, so you picked the seat.
I can put myself on the I can put myself on the edge and not have to sit next to any annoying sci-fi fans. And then I said, well, I guess except for you. And little did I know it was an omen. Because the armrest between us was broken. Yeah. It was one of the flip-up ones, but it was all floppity.
Yeah.
And you kept fucking hitting it, and I was going to strangle you. And you also kept kicking my... your foot... You cross your legs when you sit like a woman.
Yeah.
And
like a woman.
I've said this to him 1,000 times.
Wow.
I don't know. I can't cross my legs like that. I don't know what you got going on. But
you
also kept kicking
because I have a thigh gap.
My footrest, my recliner.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, Josh was the person in the theater who annoyed me the most.
Good. Good.
And then you told me to put it down so you could walk, and I said, "Go around, asshole."
You got so mad. I did. I was like, I'm gonna get him. Put your feet.
You didn't plan your peas out like I did. Remember, I had a whole
I
system.
took one pee.
I know, but I did mine. I waited. I was in the middle of the previews, and I went and peed because I said, I know how this movie's gonna go.
I didn't have to pee then. I pee when I pee, bro.
So I saved that. I thought that'd be some good opening banter.
Are you done yet?
He kicked my seat a couple of times, and the armrest was broken. Clearly insufferable.
Sat next to a broken speaker. That was probably your fault. Fucking loser.
Anyway.
I wish those old people opened those candies right behind your ear.
Other than that, going to the theater lately, not so bad. You pick your seat, you just walk straight in, and they bring my Coca-Cola to my seat.
Yeah. He just sits there, big king, fucking big money, big
I don't
dick.
know why more people don't do that. I don't understand.
Me neither.
They probably don't have they're probably not movie club members because I think you have to pay for it if you're not. So, yeah. I'm big balling, I guess.
You're such a fucking tool, dude.
But yeah, the movie theater, it's been all right. It was worth the trip.
I don't want to do this anymore.
We haven't even spilled the beans yet, I don't think.
No.
Whenever
you're ready, dude.
You want me to go?
Whenever you're ready, dude.
We saw Dune.
Oh, we're going to talk about the movie now.
Part 2. Josh, what do you think of Dune Part 2?
Well, before we start, is there anything else you need to get out of your system? Like I burped too loud or something? Or
no.
You don't care for my choice of beverage? Or
I mean, I just order you your beverage. I don't even ask.
I know. It's not fair. What if I want a beer?
Well, you can't order that to the seat. That's unfortunate.
That's dumb.
So we would have had to get that on our way in. And that's a separate line, so that's not so bad. But no, just get you a big old water bottle because you're like, ugh, it'll I have a weak bladder. I can't drink soda pop. You really don't drink soda, so that's the difference there.
Yeah, no, I drink
soda. I drink soda on occasion, like the movie theater.
I just
and
make
at my
up
house
for it
and when
beer.
I'm driving.
When I'm eating and sleeping. Fuck it. No, you're good, dude. You're good. I just make up for the no soda with too much beer.
True. Well, there you go. Fucking Dune Part 2, Josh.
Dune Part
I have no more gripes.
We saw Dune Do.
Dune Deuce.
Dune Do.
What'd you think of Dune Part 2, Josh?
I'm conflicted.
Okay. You want to expand on that, or do you want to ask me what I think?
What do you think?
Bro.
Oh, bro. Oh, bro.
I'm not going to deny. It's a very well-made movie.
It's a fantastic.
And I think a lot of people did a lot of good work.
Yes.
Here's the thing. I think I didn't realize. And I went back and I watched Dune Part 1 a day or two ago. That movie still fucks. This movie, and I think it's my own fault. I should have made good on my promise to look into Dune more.
You wouldn't have.
I think Dune's fucking silly and stupid, and I don't particularly care for it. When I think of, here's a pop culture touchstone here. Game of Thrones, Josh. You always had a nitpick with Game of Thrones. It was more of a funny thing. Yeah. We were talking about with fucking God, I can't remember her name anymore. Fucking Khaleesi, fucking the Targaryen, the Emilia Clarke.
Yeah,
they would always. You're just like they take forever, and she's got a bunch of titles before her name. It's Breaker of Chains, this and that. Dude, if I had to hear another fucking name for Paul Atreides, I was gonna lose my fucking mind. He's the knick-knack paddywhack. He's fucking Muad'Dib. Fucking they were calling him two other things. He's got his name, and then he's got this stupid Messiah name. And I was like, dude, I I cannot fucking deal with this. If there was ever adaptation that needed to be done, it was getting rid of this fucking lingo and the fucking obsession with these people and their ways. I was like, holy shit. If this is what this fucking property is, I am so out. I fucking was miserable watching him in the desert with these fucking morons. I borderline was getting angry. I was like getting angry. Like I was like, I can't believe I'm fucking sitting here watching this. This is awful. This is fucking shit. Very well fucking shot. Good performances. And the story ended up going somewhere eventually. But holy crap. People, I feel like, I don't know why everybody's so positive on this one. They're like, the last one, nothing happened. That's the problem. I want to get into the meat of it. Nothing fucking happened in this. Nothing at all happened. He fucked around in the desert while fucking oh my god, I'm so irritated. I can't even think of these actors' names.
Dave Bautista?
Not Bautista. No. Fucking
Zendaya?
Not Zendaya. Fucking hang on. Javier Bardem. Fucking it just constantly, it's just like, wow, he's super badass. Oh my god, it's happening. Not to mention, this is this fucking story, and I'm not giving the movie crap per se. And we can get into, and remember, not everybody has a Josh who's familiar with the source material to tell him why these things are happening. So the movie doesn't get a break on that. I'm so worked up. Anyway, I don't even know what I was saying anymore. I don't even know what I was talking about anymore.
He is visibly flustered. He's got like one hand on he's resting one hand over here. The other one's like iron grip on his beer. He's just flailing around. Kind of like I was when I was sitting next to him, apparently. Allegedly.
See, as you might notice, maybe this wasn't all Josh's fault with the kicking of the chair.
I doubt it was, dude. I doubt it was. I won't take the blame.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, no. I think I enjoyed it a little bit more than you did, obviously. But I have a lot of gripes. Which are apparently my fellow book nerds is praise for the movie. I'm gonna tell you this much: in the books, the Fremen aren't as stupid.
Sure,
the Fremen aren't stupid. They're capable. They were taking out Harkonnens well before Paul showed up, and in this, they just look like bumpkins to me. They're sort of good at what they do, but they're just so mysterious.
Yeah. Well, if you remember. If you remember the beginning of the first one, it shows them doing work against the Harkonnens, fucking
Harkonnens,
whatever. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Both are valid.
It's the same fucking it's the same pronunciation.
And yeah, they show that that's like what they've been into, and that's the crux of what, because it's like, well, they were in the first fucking one. I could hear people saying that to me already. Like this shit was getting set up in the first one. I'm like, yes. But like you said, it was an interesting, cool thing because it seemed like they're trying to make allies, and they made inroads there before his dad fucking died and everything like that, and he was in exile. And that's what made it interesting, and they just fucking left that to the side when this one started.
Well, because now they're trying to get,
these people are so interesting.
No, on it.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. It's the epitome of fucking. It's the filmification of the line in Dodgeball where he says it's a metaphor, but it really happened.
Yeah,
because they talk about things that they know are not real, and then act on them as if they are real. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah.
He talks to his mom like she's the worst person ever for being a part of the brainwashing that they've done to this group of people in an attempt to control them.
Well,
and then it's like, but I'm going to take that to my advantage. And I understand that's the point, is that like I think you're going to watch his fall, right?
No,
Good
yeah,
intentions, revenge,
no.
the fall, religious undertones. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
But it was at the expense of most of this movie being like, I respect your people. And they're like, wow, you're super badass and you respect us. Therefore, you are the Messiah. And
See,
I'm like, oh my God.
And in the books, Paul is the one who's like pushing the thing. Like she does a little bit just to get him out of a bad spot. Mm-hmm. And then fucking the rest of the time, he ends up starting doing some fucking wacky shit. And Jessica actually ends up kind of scared of him because he kind of starts buying into the whole Messiah thing. He's like, I have to do this. And it starts off way earlier in the book than it did in here, where he's just like, well, I guess I'll go to the south and drink the water. And that shit pissed me off because there's no magic tear that makes everything okay. Fucking none of that happens, dude. Her name that she has, the tear, the wellspring of the desert or whatever it is, it's just his name for her. That's just what he calls her.
Trust me, I know names is a big fucking thing.
Names are a big thing. Yeah, he's the Kwisatz Haderach. He's Lisan al-Gaib. He's Al-Mahdi. Muad'Dib. No, it's a lot, dude. And then he's Paul Atreides on top of that. And he's also a Harkonnen.
And he's Oh.
That's a bigger deal. That's a bigger deal in the book. Because Jessica's like, oh, I knew the whole time. And he's like, no, you fucking in the movie. And then in the book, she didn't find that out until she drank the water.
That's what she said in the movie.
I thought she knew the whole time.
No, she said, I didn't know myself until
I drank the water. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, dude. Honestly, what they should have done is they should have started the movie when he gets the sandworm, when he goes on his first ride. It's a better way to open that movie.
Trust me, I enjoyed the scale and the spectacle of them like doing their terrorist attacks.
Yeah,
on the fucking.
But you still get that after he learns to ride the fucking worm.
Yeah,
like that's when shit really pops off, is when he learns to fucking ride the worm.
It was a decision for sure.
Yeah, no, there's dude, and also the story takes place over 6 years in the book. And in this one, it's literally like 2 months. Mm-hmm. Paul has a kid in the book that dies. He's not really important. He's pretty much just a plot device. But like Chani and him have I liked Chani a lot in this movie because she has more agency, but they change her character far too drastically. And she just dips, and that doesn't happen in the fucking books. She sticks with him the whole time.
I mean, she didn't ever dip. She was like an eyesight of him the entire movie.
She leaves at the end of the movie. She takes the worm out. She dips at the end of the movie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was the end of the movie that could be the end of them even making these movies. I doubt it.
Yeah, but like yeah. It's they made her too mad at him, and she was she was the one that was all on board for pretty much everything, not Stilgar. Stilgar says it one time in the book where he's just like, he could be the Lisan al-Gaib, and that's pretty much it. And then he's more of a father figure to him for the whole thing, not a fucking weird ass worshiper.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I didn't like about that, was that they made the Fremen like they present the dissenting side, but they don't really have anything to do with them. And then they just have all these fanatics all the time. And then instantly everybody's a fanatic. It's like you said, he shows up and he does a couple good things and like, wow, it's so cool. He never does what he does in the fucking book.
Here's the problem. Okay. I understand the book is different. Here's the problem when you're doing an adaptation is it's like, okay, how do we get from point A to point B?
It has to stand on its own.
And how do we like have a book's worth of fucking of character development and relationship development and the story moving along? How do we make it in half of a 2-hour movie? How do we make 1 hour of this 2-hour movie that? And I think the answer for them was, we lean into that he's just so great and he's the Messiah, and they instantly are behind him because they're all a bunch of weirdo fanatics that want to follow him. Instead of him just, I don't know, having relationships with them and having similar interests and wanting to fight the Harkonnens.
There's a lot less manipulation that goes on in the movie than there is in the book.
And less geopolitics and more.
And honestly, I think that shit's interesting, and it's done better in the book than it is in the movie.
But how many movies are we going to make, and where is this movie going to begin?
Apparently, his plan is to end after the next one. He's going to do Dune Messiah.
But that's what I'm saying. So how much of that do you put into one movie? And so on those terms, I understand why they leaned to the more Messiah angle, because I've looked into other adaptations. There was a DOS game that's very, very well received that came out in the early 90s. That's a whole Dune adaptation, and also looks like a pretty sick game.
It was pretty cool. I remember my dad had it on our Commodore 64.
But they basically ignore the Messiah angle completely, because part of the gameplay is getting alliances and
it's like a strategy
attacks and strategy and all that stuff. So I'm like, okay, so it's what you're trying to accomplish. And I get it. The problem is, holy shit, if we were just going to take the short fucking route anyway, to just being like, I guess he really is the Messiah, well, let's all just follow him, which was like, having watched all that, for that just to be the outcome was totally frustrating for me. And I'm like, if you're just going to do that, why did we even spend so much time learning their fucking ways? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get that that's part of the prophecy.
Yeah.
But, God.
Yeah, well,
I hope this just ends up being like the middle movie that's not for me. And because overall, I think I do like a lot of what's going on in Dune.
Yeah.
But like I was trying to say, it's cool that you can explain like, yeah, it's actually better in the book and this and this and that, and this is what they did. That's cool, but I have to look at it from a series of movies I want to watch.
Yeah.
And it's like...
Well, my big problem with the movie is that...
Explain these things.
Both movies just strip away all the weird. They kind of Game of Thrones'd it, where... Like,
the first movie is pretty weird, and it fucks. I don't know if you guys know that. That first movie, it's not like it ruined Dune for me. I went and watched that first movie. That movie fucks, dude. And it's got a lot of weird shit. It's got first of all, the weirdness of the ships and all of that, and how
the navigators and everything. Yeah.
Also, you're the person to ask this for, and we'll get to there. But the weirdness of that, the weirdness with they really play into how gross the Baron is more in the first one. They have that weird pet. I know that's probably just a thing they did for the movie. The Sardaukar, when they went to their fucking planet, there was a lot more weird in that than there was in this. This was more like mystic, these people and their ways. And I'm like, I fucking want to die.
No, honestly, to me, this one made me think that they were going for like a more Lawrence of Arabia kind of thing, which, you know, it was also a big chunk of the inspiration for Paul and everything. But it strips out the weird shit, like the fucking waters of life. Aaliyah, like, they don't go as weird as Aaliyah is because she doesn't get born. Aaliyah's fucking weird as shit. She's an adult that's a baby.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking weird. And she's not telepathic. She doesn't fucking... That shit doesn't happen in the book. Like, everything weird she was doing doesn't happen in the fucking book. She can see futures and implant herself.
Well, are the Bene Gesserit not telepathic?
No.
Because in both movies they talk to one another with their minds.
It's not telepathy.
Well, I mean, I think we're splitting hairs here, but yeah.
Yeah, we are. But it's just.
But I understand the lack of that character.
And she's important because of everything that comes afterwards.
It seems like they're rearranging things. Which
they
is
really
fine,
are, dude.
So.
But like, it's not. Aaliyah especially is very important to the story because she sets up a lot of what's going to happen later on. That whole bit with her, she kills Baron Harkonnen.
Yeah.
And she manipulates the whole thing because she kind of has some prescience like he does. The only thing is she can like implant herself in the visions of the future. And you don't get a lot of visions of the future with Paul, which is his thing. That's what he does. He just comes out and he's like, oh, I know this and I know that. And it's like, no, you don't get a lot of his weird visions. You got him in the first movie.
I was gonna say, you got more of him.
You got him in the first movie, and then they're gone pretty much in this movie entirely. All he sees is going to the south and the vague creature.
I was gonna say, and he talks about the big old vision he had when he drank the poison, and fucking and that's what I mean when I'm like, they're clearly holding stuff back to do shit. I'm guessing a time jump and a huge exposition dump at the beginning of the next one. That's kind of what I'm seeing.
That's a bad move.
They need to move the fuck on from what's going on right now.
They do.
In my mind. So that's the way to go in my mind.
Yeah. Well, the next one's just all about him dealing with the war in his
we need a little bit of a fucking montage here. Introduce Anna Taylor-Joy's character, have some weirdness, and then get on with a different story than these people and their ways. I'm fucking so sick of it. Oh my god!
No, you just get into the guilt and the him dealing with being fucking the Dune, setting himself up as this Messiah and also being that Messiah actually.
Because it's a metaphor. But
because it's this. He's what the Bene Gesserit wanted.
Yes,
that's what it is, and they told them that this thing was going to come save them. He's not what they want. He's not what they were expecting, but he fits everything perfectly, so he can therefore become that.
Yes,
it's a fake thing about religion. It's all the Catholic Church shit.
Sure, but yes, all of that. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I know. I know you get it.
It.
Yeah, no,
But as I think, and whether it be adaptation or it's just Dune, and this is what I want to ask you: if it's just Dune or if it's this particular adaptation. It makes for a shit narrative. I'm sorry. I don't know why people think this is a fucking masterpiece. Because it's a slow-paced sci-fi epic with good performances that, like, they don't fucking make.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I get it. Fucking when was Dune written?
Oh, God. Back in the 60s.
Was it the 60s? I was going to say. But it has that 70s sci-fi fucking aesthetic to it, right?
It's a very 70s
or vibes, I guess I should say. Because the aesthetic is... Denise.
Well, that's what we said about the first one.
That vibe, and I understand that people are super into that. I'm only sort of into that, if I'm being completely honest. There's certain sci-fi that I'm just like roll my eyes at, and this is towing, fucking walking the line.
But there's like good character moments that they get rid of that like makes that boring plot so much more interesting. Sure. Like when they find Gurney, he tries to kill Jessica because he believes Jessica was the spy, not you. And that's a big character moment. That literally happens right before the end, basically.
Sure.
Because it's Gurney and him out in the desert for the longest time running raids and stuff like that.
Well, I could see, he finds out she's the Harkonnens, the fucking Baron's daughter or whatever.
No, that's not what it is. In the book, it's fucking just she was a Bene Gesserit. No one trusts the Bene Gesserit because they're liars and manipulators and shit. And he was just like, this is what her plan was, and So I
thought of a good setup and payoff, but they just went, I don't like her with it in the book, huh?
No, because no one trusts her the whole time, Ryan. That's the whole point. Oh my god!
Right, that would have been better.
Do you want me to keep going about the book or what? Dude?
I did have some questions.
God, go ahead and ask.
No,
dude.
You didn't write it. Did you write it?
It's fine, dude, because they set it up through the whole thing.
You're like, oh, it's crazy. I know, but I'm talking about with this movie. Like, if they wanted to put that scene in the movie, that's probably what I would have done instead of being like, oh no, he just doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't trust her. And he tries to kill her. I'm like, you'd have to set that up in the movie. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, which was my problem with the first movie.
I got you.
Every problem that I have with this
movie.
What's up?
Do you not like the movie?
I enjoy it as a film. I don't enjoy it as an adaptation.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't read the book, man. I'm talking about the movie. Man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have questions.
Well, you want me to talk about the differences? And oh my god. Okay. Yeah. No.
Oh well, I said. Well, I was like, oh well, that's dumb, and then you got mad. I was like, did you write it?
No, I'm just like, fuck, dude. You want me to talk about this? I'm just telling you what happens.
Yeah, and I'm not pleased with what you told me, but you didn't write it.
Worked good in the book.
Yeah, I mean. Let me sit back and think about this one. Okay. All right. James Brolin tries to kill her. Does that make this plot any better to me? No. Okay.
No, it's a good fucking character moment. That's all I was saying.
For which character?
For him and Jessica.
Yeah, Gurney is not a character in this movie.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
That's my problem. Gotcha. Was they doubled down on Idaho in the first fucking movie.
And everybody else... Jason Momoa was good.
Yeah.
And...
here we
James
go.
fucking... I keep on saying James Brolin. And Josh Brolin is fucking Josh Brolin. Yeah. He's no fucking Patrick Stewart, okay? I gotta tell you,
Ooh.
he is a nothing in both these movies. He's nothing.
Well, and that's because they don't give him his character his due. They don't even treat Howitt with anything, and Howit's important.
Yeah.
Like fucking Through Fear Howit's a very important character.
Well, shit, man.
And they just he's pretty much. I think he's just dead in this adaptation. I think
sure
he dies at the end of the book, but he's just dead. The whole time.
They haven't brought him up. So who knows? But
but no, like every problem that I had with the first movie, they doubled down on in this one, and I was like, well, the second one's probably going to expand a bit more on some of this. And all they did was strip out all the weird, fucking crazy pseudoscience, magic, weird shit, and just double down on a very generic fucking sci-fi space opera where it's just like we got to beat the bad guy, and I'm the chosen one, and that's it.
Well, it was already mind-numbing enough for them to do character development of two characters, him and his mom.
It's so heavy-handed.
I can only imagine how fucking long, and they just don't have the time. And your thing is that they probably could have spent time with other characters and other facets of the story.
Because other things are going on,
and I would have to say,
break up that bit. Like
I'd have to probably agree, because what they ended up doing was like, fuck.
You do a lot with the Harkonnens, with Fade and like his Fade and the Baron are constantly trying to kill each other in the book.
Oh,
and there's a lot of
Sting or
cool
Austin
shit.
Butler?
Sting or Austin Butler? Sting's got that dope ass hair, dude.
Sting's got the hair.
But Austin Butler was pretty fucking crazy.
He's good.
I really liked him. I really liked him a lot.
Oh, we haven't got to that part. That's actually the best part of the whole fucking movie.
See, that's the thing, is they could have done more of that because there's this plots within plots. Everybody's trying to murder each other all the time, and you go to the Harkonnens planet, or you go to the Harkonnen ship, or you briefly touch on the Emperor real quick. A lot of things happen, and in this one, they're just like, we're just gonna hang out in the desert all day, there is a lot of that in the book. But in the book, also, you get like a Harkonnen beginning to this chapter, and then it's Paul's side of the story, or then Paul's story, or Gurney gets his own fucking section of the chapter, and it's. Thufir gets his own part in the book.
This is why I need you, Josh. We're saying the same thing right now.
Yeah, see, this is one. No, I have a lot of problems
because the first one, it had so many interesting characters and so much going on and in like promise, and then this one was so laser focused on one thing, and now you're speaking my language. You're like, no. The reason I'm upset about this adaptation and what they left out is because it's characters and cooler moments and not hanging out in the desert talking about the Messiah.
Well, I was going to get there, and then you had to be like, I'm mad about this. So.
I couldn't care about fucking Gurney at all.
See, and Gurney's like my favorite character in the book, so.
Maybe if he was Patrick Stewart and had a pug. So,
or like fucking no one's ever done Gurney's scar right. Like, he's disfigured. He's a fucking freak. And in this one, he's just got this.
I didn't even notice it. Now that you're saying it, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Dude, in the book, it's described as like this huge fucking nasty at.
Did he get it from the Harkonnens?
Yeah, he got it from Raban, and like, oh, that's another thing. Fucking Gurney doesn't kill Raban in the book. He just gets offed by I think just random fucking civilians fuck him up.
Yeah, but and that's kind of how I felt when they had their rumble. I was like, who fucking cares? They really kind of did both of those characters dirty to the point where I was like,
well, Raban is nothing in the book too.
I don't fucking care about these guys.
Yeah, Raban is nothing in the book, dude, at all. Really, he's just there to be like, oh, father or uncle, blah 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 blah, and he's like, you suck. I'm bringing in Fade, and you're fucking cut. That's a big point too. Is like it's such a long period of time.
Yes,
that
I could see.
Raban is like constantly like hammering down on him because that's what the Baron told him to do, and he keeps losing. And at a certain point, it's a big turning point for them. He gets cut off entirely, and that's when they start gaining more territory and they start moving back toward Arakeen, the city. And that's when the Emperor shows up and everybody, because they're like, yo, we're putting a fucking end to this.
Yeah.
And he never this is the other thing. They don't tell you how the spice is made. The spice is made from it's the eggs. It's fucking young worms. And fucking, they don't have to drop a nuke on it, for one thing. All they have to do is put that water of life on top of the fucking thing, and it'll blow up. That'll wipe out. It won't blow it up. It poisons the well, basically. It's salting the earth. If that happens, there will never be spice again. You don't have to put a nuke on it. They make such a big deal out of the atomics in this, and that bugs the shit out of me because that's...
Did they, though? I mean,
there's a whole quest to go get
I mean, they talk about nuking
There's a whole quest to get the atomics in the fucking movie, and that's not in the fucking book at all, dude. And it's just... My problem with the fact that they did the thing with the atomics. However, yes, you're right. It's only like a 2-minute thing. I get it. In the book, yeah, he's got his atomics. But it's weirder. All he has to do is put water on something.
Sure,
and that's the end of it. That's literally the end of everything. That's just so mundane. And
did the Fremen know
cool.
that the entire time?
Yeah.
Why do they love spice so much? Hang on.
Because they don't love.
We have to stop for a second.
Spice is just in their lifestyle because and they don't talk about this. Spice is in everything on Arrakis. If anybody leaves Arrakis without a nice chunk of spice with them, they're gonna fucking go through withdrawal and fucking die. They're all addicted to spice. Paul realizes this, and it's one of his temper tantrums that he throws at his mom in the book, where he's just like, you fucking did this to me. We can't leave, like we can never get out of here because they have to be near the spice. It's in the air. It's in the food. It's in the sand. It's in the mountains. It's in their clothes. Spice is everywhere on Arrakis. There's just these concentrated things of spice, and that's what they mine. But spice is everywhere in there. And that's why the Fremen are whatever about spice, because it's just part of their life.
Yes. I didn't know that it was everywhere, but I knew there was the big spice fields and whatever.
Yeah.
We get sidetracked a lot.
Yes.
But yes, it's I get it. It's everywhere. The spice fields, whatever. So, okay. So in the movie, you're talking about the weird water, the water of life.
The water of life, yeah.
Water of life. That comes from the sandworm?
From drowning the worm, yeah.
Okay. Oh, they literally kill the worm.
They drown the worm, yeah.
Okay. So,
but nobody shows Jessica how it's done, and she doesn't set up her son or anything like that.
Got it.
He goes and does it on his own. He just fucking Jessica's pissed that he did it because he could have died, and all he did was take one drop of it, and it did what like a gallon of it did to her.
Yeah. So you pour that just anywhere on the planet, and it fucks up all the spice.
Yeah, I think it's just water in general. I don't know if it's just water. I don't know if it's the water of life that poisons the well, but I think it might be water. I can't.
Like really if they can put a large enough amount of water. So
it's not even a large enough amount of water. All they have to do is like fucking put it on top of a spice field.
Oh, and it'll fuck that whole spice field.
And there will be no more whatever is there. Whatever's there is there.
I could see the drama for a movie being like, we're gonna nuke it, which is kind of funny. Yeah. Like it's kind of like cool, guys.
Yeah.
but
that's how he gets them to pretty much fucking back off for a while because he's just like, well, dude, if you guys come down here, we're gonna fuck up the spice. Yeah, we're gonna fuck up the spice fields.
There's so many things I wanted to get to.
Oh, real quick. Another character moment that they didn't do. Because Gurney doesn't kill Raban in the book, when Fade challenges him, and by the way, the Emperor is such a cooler dickhead in the book than he is in the movie. Like, he doesn't go, oh, yeah? Well, your dad's a bitch. And then he stabs him. That doesn't happen. He fucking goes into exile. Like, whatever. No, Gurney says, don't sully your hand with this animal. Let me do it. And he's just like, no, I have to do it. This is the way this has to go because he's seen it. And he's just like, you promised me a Harkonnen. And he's just like, do you think you can take him? And then Gurney has a thought and he's just like, no, fuck you. Let me do it. And he's like, bro, no, dude. Okay, dude, do you want me to do you? Because I'll take you out right now, kind of thing. And it's this cool back and forth. And it's when Gurney realizes that he's not his teacher anymore. It's a cool moment, but it's an important moment between the two of them because there is a bit of resentment there for Gurney, for him going back on his promise to Gurney.
Sure, yeah,
it's a cool moment, and you don't get that.
There was a setup, there was a promise, a potential to have their relationship be a thing, and they do,
basically Gurney is denied his entire revenge.
I was overly harsh. He did have some cool moments, especially with him and Chani. I believe, in this movie.
Chani's great in the movie.
We'll get to more of the good things. Let me fucking bitch.
Yeah,
and
we're
ask you
venting right now.
Bitch and ask you some more questions. So,
all right, no, you said you had an important question.
I understand that fucking he who controls the spice
controls everything.
the universe. Now, here's the problem. Here's the problems I have. Okay. I understand greed and in the fucking metaphors and symbolism of media in general.
Yeah.
Here's my big problem. First of all, Kynes, right?
Yeah.
In the first one, totally a lady. I won't hear otherwise.
It's fine. She was great, dude. It's just with the Fremen culture.
As I'm sure you can tell, I actually have done some Dune research.
Oh, yeah.
That's how pissed off I was.
So that's the only way to get you to read is fucking make you mad enough?
So they go to in the movie specifically, the first one, which fucks. They go to their first little hideout where Duncan Idaho fucking dies. And she's showing them the ecological station and all that stuff. And she's like, yeah, man, we were going to make this place a fucking paradise. But then the spice was discovered. And suddenly we didn't want to anymore. And I was like, now hang on just one gosh darn second. If they didn't know about fucking spice, then how the fuck did they get there in the first place? Why does spice make fucking... It's what makes time travel possible. Why is spice the flux capacitor of this world when it seems like they were able to navigate the stars just fine previously to that?
Because it makes it instantaneous.
Okay, I knew that.
Yeah.
I did know about the spice melange.
It took them.
It's instantaneous.
No, basically, back in the day, fucking, there was a big war on Earth. Earth got wiped out, and mankind spread across the universe. Fucking went further out because they were trying to outrun machines.
Sure. Yes.
And they get
Why don't
to
they
this. They
explain
get to this outer. You want it to be longer?
Well, I mean,
like,
fuck, man. They had they
No, they could
let
have.
Chani explain fucking the beginning, a bunch of lore at the beginning of the movie.
That's one thing. That's one thing that I like about what they did with Chani in this, because a lot of that is through Stilgar, but they should have split it up because Stilgar's a drooling moron in this movie, dude. I fucking hated him in part 2. But no, they could have taken a brief minute, and also they didn't just give up on making the fucking planet better. Kynes is still doing that. That's part of the whole thing. That giant water tank that's under the water, that's part of their plan to make it a paradise. Like, the Fremen were working towards something the entire time. They were doing things. That's in the book.
But
they're amazed by the engineering that the Fremen are capable of, because they all underestimate it. First of all, they only think there's about 20,000 of them, and there's millions of them.
They talk about that. Yeah, 50,000, I think they said.
But they talk about how blown away they are by what the Fremen are capable of, because they think that they're just stupid savages.
Duncan Idaho fucking lays it out clean, dog. The first movie is a fucking masterpiece.
The first movie's really good. The first movie, by comparison, is really good.
I expected to go back and be fucking irritated because of the second one. It is so good.
Yeah, no,
and a lot of what you're saying, I was like, no, they allude to that.
Yeah.
They allude to a lot in that first one. But it's like the second one should have made good on explaining a lot of this. And instead, we saw Paul Atreides fucking around in the desert for 2 hours.
God damn it. I really thought that was
Muad'Dib. So fucking...
No, man. I hear everything you're saying, dude. That's what I said. Every problem I have with the first one, they fucking...
I regret yelling at Josh earlier.
You fucking should. No, dude. It's just... And then Kynes has this really cool death scene in the books where they drop him on top of a pre-spice field with a thumper. And fucking, they think a worm's going to eat them. But the pre-spice fields, I can't remember what it is that makes them volatile.
It's like the poplars.
But it nukes him, basically. The pre-spice field blows up. But he has this weird, like, fucking, he's all fucked up from the sun and stuff. In the book, he's a he. So
yes, that's why I do know that.
That's why I keep saying he.
That's why I said who's totally a lady.
Yeah. It's just, and it's like, and it's, again, I must say it again. She was really good in the movie. I really liked her. But with the way Fremen culture is, women are only allowed.
Yeah, well, they literally threw that out. They completely changed it.
No, that's
Chani
totally
even
different.
says straight up that they're all equal.
And And like there are women warriors, but they're very rare. Most of them are just either reverend mothers or they stay in the siege. So her being in a place of leadership, because Kynes is like, they thought, from what I gather from the book, they thought Kynes was like the prophet of Muad'Dib, or of the Mahdi, Lisan al-Gaib, whatever you want to call him. They thought that he was like the prophet because he was leading them in fucking purifying the earth and trying
doing what
and that bothered me in the movie where she was just like, yeah, and then we found spice and it was like, why even bother? And it's like, no, that was a lie. He said that in the book, but that was a fucking lie because Kynes was trying to hide what he was actually doing because Kynes had gone native. Anyway.
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought.
I was asking how the hell they got there in the first place.
Oh, dude, colony ships.
They just discovered they've had spice for so long. The old ways have been lost. I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of that's why everything is this weird feudal system. It's why people are fucking kind of backwards in the way they do everything, and it's fucking. Because they all basically had to start over again, but most places still had starships. I'm not sure how the Fremen got there. That might be handled in one of the later 6 books. And I don't think it was handled in the first book.
It pisses me off that they take the aesthetic of like this weird analog fucking technology, but don't take the time to explain why that is.
It's got kind of this weird I'm not downplaying it. It's just it's got like this weird Masters of the Universe where you got a laser gun in one hand and a fucking broadsword in the other, you know?
Yeah.
And it all has to do with shields and everything. And that's why the Fremen only use projectile weapons, because you can't use shields in the desert because it's going to summon a worm.
The worms are going to get pissed off.
Yeah, and it's so they use projectile weapons because they're going at you from way off. These assholes haven't adapted that tactic. They use the fucking guns still and then go to get in close when that shit. Yeah. It's fucking. And if you hit his shield, if I remember, if you hit his shield on Arrakis with a laser, it fucking nukes something. You know,
it's not even the gun. Like I get it. The sword and laser pistol fucking sci-fi cover art. Like, yeah, no, I'm there for it. Trust me.
It's badass.
I'm not mad about it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking more. They have vehicles and they have certain things, and like they're scanning on radar, but it's connected to a guy who has a weird thing surgically implanted on his face.
See, and I don't think
just explain why that is.
See, and I don't think that's a thing in the books. Like, he's got a bunch of dudes hooked up to that fucking giant radar thing. You need a Mentat, which is a fucking trained human that is there to process logic and shit like that. So they have endless strategies and Thufir Hawat's the best. Everybody knows Thufir Hawat's the best. But they've got all these guys hooked into computers, and I don't remember that being a thing in the book at all. Like, they had fucking rudimentary computers, as I recall. But AI is like outlawed for the most part. It can't be. That's why they train humans to do what they do, because they've perfected the brain.
They're talking about expanding the human mind. And not only that, they talk about how they need the spice for interstellar travel. That's what they say. But they don't explain how it's used for interstellar travel. And that is aggravating, because I do know how. Well, they do bring up the Navigator Guild.
Yeah.
And the Spacers Guild.
The guild should have been there.
But they don't talk about what they do. And
nobody knows.
They just huff a bunch of fucking spice and their brain goes all wacky and they open up a fucking portal to the next part of the fucking world.
Later in the books, you get further into the guild the further you go into the books. And it's because Paul knows. Because Paul had 3 branches available to him. He could have been the Kwisatz Haderach, which was the Bene Gesserit fucking the thing. He could have been a Mentat. In fact, when the book begins, he's kind of going to be a Mentat.
Whoa, hang on, no, back it up. Wait a minute. The Knick-Knack, Paddywhack, and the fucking Lisa Al-Gaib are not the same guy?
They are the same guy.
Okay.
Because
that was they were talking to Jessica about, like, you dumb bitch thought you could bring about the Knick-Knack, Paddywhack. And I was like, And then all of a sudden, and then she's like, "You're gonna be the guy." And like she's playing two angles on this one.
Yeah, no. Basically, he says it in the book.
See, here I am being mad about this stuff, and I'm like, "Well, wait a minute. Tell me the intricacies."
Yeah, no. He says in the book to Jessica, as I recall, he's like, I'm not the Kwisatz Haderach. I'm something more. He is the mythical fake guy that they made up, who was just supposed to be like, oh, he's the Kwisatz Haderach, but he's the Lisan al-Gaib to you. And they built their own legend about him.
There's a lot of weird gendered stuff in the Dune world as well.
Yes, there's a lot of weird gender shit. And it's more in the book. Basically, men couldn't do what Jessica did.
Yeah.
That's what makes Paul special, was he took the water, and every guy that's ever taken the water fucking dies. He's the only one to survive it. And he didn't have to change anything. He didn't have to do anything. He didn't require some fucking magic tear from his lady. He just did it, and it worked. And fucking... First of all, Jessica didn't almost die when she fucking took the shit. She went on a fucking weird fucking spirit. She took some peyote and went on a spirit quest.
Yeah.
But what were we talking about originally?
I guess I can't say that because there are cultures in this world.
Yeah.
that still do. But I hate that shit. I do not care for like weird spiritual quests when it comes to storytelling and fake made up cultures.
Didn't you like that in Star Wars though?
I mean, sure. I suppose if you take a lightsaber that you don't need into a cave and kill yourself, then yeah.
Well, I was talking about like Last Jedi, which you loved.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing with that. She didn't take any psychedelic drugs.
Ryan's not a fan of the shrooms.
Hey, yeah. The body's a temple, bro.
As he chugs a non-specific
That's Triple Hops
beer.
Brood, bro.
The great taste that never fills you up and never lets you down.
Anyway, it's a personal thing.
No. Yeah. But
not for me. I'm sure you noticed when I said these people in their ways.
Yeah. No.
1,000 times over.
He tells her in the book, he's like, I'm not the Kwisatz Haderach. I'm something more. And he doesn't know what he is at that point. And what he is he is their Messiah. Like that's when he's just like, holy shit, I am a god. I've been telling them I'm their god the whole time. Now I'm actually their god. And he's kind of fucked up about it.
At a certain point when the hat fits, you just have to wear it. Right?
Yeah. Yes.
And plus the spice got them all wacky.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly.
So does the spice make you live longer?
No.
I thought it made you live longer.
No, it just well,
that's what they say. That's what they say in David Lynch's Dune.
David Lynch's Dune is fucking. I love David Lynch's Dune.
For the record, I did not actually watch David Lynch's Dune in preparation. Oh, dude,
I failed because I told you I was going to show it to you.
I wanted to. But instead, I just looked up a few things from that.
We will watch that at some point, and then maybe revisit this topic.
The Dune discussion is not over.
Okay,
I'm mad about this movie mostly because of how hard and fucking fast the first one fucks, and this one not fucking to my satisfaction.
It's not giving you that good loving. Yes. It's not giving you that good loving.
But I think my intrigue for Dune, despite this almost convincing me that Dune is stupid and I do not like it, it has not wavered. I still am Dune curious.
Dude, yeah, it's weird shit, dude. It's so fucking weird. There's all this weird. If you do read it, it is a hard read the first time you do it. It gets easier.
Who does the audiobook? Who we got reading the audiobook?
I think his name's Scott Brick.
Is a professional?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's not fucking Will Wheaton or fucking something stupid like that.
No, it's kind of got like a full cast reading off and on. Like for most of the book, it's one dude reading the book, and he's a good reader. I enjoy his voice.
Okay.
And then sporadically you'll get other voice actors. The guy they got for Paul kind of sucks.
Some radio play type shit.
Yeah. Okay. The guy they got for Paul kind of sucks. But like Jessica has a lady doing her voice. There's a guy that does the Baron. There's a guy that does his dad. There's, and then Scott Brick, I think that's his name. He does most of the narration and stuff. Let's talk about the good shit.
Okay.
Please.
Casting continues to be great.
Except for Josh Brolin, apparently. Are you telling me Thanos does not fuck?
Thanos fucks, dude.
Okay.
Thanos fucks.
Sicario?
And also, yeah, Sicario. Good. No. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, wait, him and and I'm going to say Zendaya. If you know, you know. Listen to us on another podcast we were on.
Yes.
And you will learn Zendaya.
Yes.
Go look it up.
Yeah.
There's if you look for a special announcement on this here podcast feed, you will find it.
Yes. It's a mystery. Find our secret
find
egg.
our secret other podcast we co-starred on. Or we're guests on, I guess is what you should
You'll
say.
get a million bajillions kudos.
Zendaya and him had some good stuff. And a little cute little callback to the footsteps and all that stuff.
All that shit was good.
Yeah, he was okay. It's just that in my research, I found out that like he's a big deal. He's one of the he fucks when it comes to that house.
Yes.
And they didn't do a lot with him. They just had him overreacting to fucking Stilgar over and over again in the first one, and Kynes and whoever else wanted to talk to Oscar Isaacs for more than 1 second.
Yeah.
And like it's just like, okay. Whatever. And then in this one he shows up and it's like, that's really cool, and they have their little back and forth, and then he's just like, bro, you should totally be the Messiah and fuck up the Harkonnens because like they suck. And I'm like, man, come on, man.
Yeah. See, and in the book he's
can't you give him a little bit more fatherly advice than that?
In the book he's kind of like, yo, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And
then also he's like, we could blow shit up.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's dope.
Yeah. Basically,
the things we like, the casting.
Yes.
So sorry, I just had to go back on that.
Yeah,
yes. But dude, overall, it's a lot of returning cast. But the new cast, Austin Butler, Leah Seydow is always good. She just had a little part, but she's always great.
Yeah.
She does her thing. Who was the Christopher Walken and fucking
Florence Pugh.
Florence Pugh.
Honestly, I thought Christopher Walken was kind of one of the weaker parts of the movie because he doesn't do anything.
Here's the problem, man.
I will say, it was nice to see him not your father.
Yes.
He was a tool.
Here's the thing, man. I've seen him, as you know, as we talked about earlier. I watch a lot of the award show circuit. Over the past few years, he's shown up from time to time. He is elderly.
Oh yeah.
He is not. Yeah, he's not full of spunk, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I give him a little bit of slack.
No, I just don't think that
I think it could have been better cast.
I don't have a problem with Christopher Walken in that role. I have a problem that they didn't give him enough to do because, again, Aaliyah's in the movie. He captures Aaliyah. Not the Harkonnens or anything like that. So it's a big deal. Like a lot of the last couple chapters are him, like, and talking to the Baron and being like, "Why'd you fuck up, bro? Dude, I can end your life right now. Don't fucking lie to me." Like he's got a lot of like, "I'm the emperor of the universe,"
He had one
and
little
in this
line
one, he's got one little bit, dude. But you needed more. He's kind of a big deal. He's the fucking emperor.
Yeah, well, and watching Florence Pugh fucking
Florence Pugh is doing Florence Pugh, and I'm very impressed with Florence Pugh.
Watching her just kind of have that political mind about it and knowing like because and not only that, she's walking between being his daughter, the emperor's daughter, and fucking being part of the Bene Gesserit and all that, and her having like a real good big picture of what's going on and how she was taking Paul maybe being alive much more seriously than everybody else was. Good stuff. Very good.
Oh no. God, I can't fucking think of her name now. The Emperor's daughter is a very cool character. I really like her a lot. She's barely in this book. Because she's his wife. She's much more present in the rest of the movie. And her and Chani have this great antagonistic relationship. Really cool shit. I really like her character in the book. She's really cool.
And other things that I like besides the casting, the obviously the cinematography is still amazing.
The visual effects
are
incredible.
So good. The set design, the
costuming is really cool too.
Costuming. I'm surprised how similar the still suits are to the David Lynch.
Honestly, that was the first time anyone ever saw them on screen, and that became like the staple. Like, and even this movie has a lot of that kind of aesthetic still going on. They try to adapt it a little bit, kind of modernize it a little bit, and sometimes it works. Sometimes you get Fade wearing football armor and boot cut jeans.
Well, he could have been wearing a diaper with hair.
Hey, that diaper's got wings on it, dog. That thing's badass, dude. Oh my god, I fucking love the David Lynch movie. I love the way it looks.
I really want to watch it.
It's not good, but it's David Lynch, so it's weird as fuck, and it looks cool as shit.
Is it Stallone's Judge Dredd to Dredd? Is David Lynch's Dune to this movie what Stallone's Judge Dredd is to Dredd?
Yeah, it just looks cool. Yeah, because they nail the look of Mega City 1.
It gets the property more,
while totally
it has a cool
missing the point. Yeah, it has an awesome
and an
aesthetic.
awesome cast.
Awesome aesthetic, and the music's fucking great. And the soundtrack's done by Toto, for God's sakes, dude. No, I love David Lynch's Dune. It's not good. Honestly, if you want to watch a really good Dune adaptation, unfortunately, it has a budget constraint because this is back when Sci-Fi Channel.
Is this the 2000 TV?
The miniseries.
Okay.
So good.
I don't know where to find it.
Dude,
I've seen clips from it. It makes me laugh, but it also looks amazing.
Dude, I have it on YouTube. I have a playlist of it. We will watch that. I fucking love the Sci-Fi Channel adaptation of it. That was back when Sci-Fi Channel was like, we're scrappy and little and we have big dreams.
Get it done, yeah.
You had shit like Farscape and Stargate and Sliders and fucking the Dune miniseries. And the Dune miniseries, people used to knock on it because it's clearly done on a lot of sound stages, a lot of Eastern European actors and stuff, so the accents are kind of weird and the English isn't so great. I fucking love it. It's so good because Dune has a very strong Shakespearean angle to it, and the fact that you're looking at a lot of like obvious matte paintings, matte drops, and like they just piled a bunch of sand on a soundstage and shit half the time, it kind of adds to that Shakespearean play kind of thing to it, and I fucking love it. It has very dated graphics, as we say, CGI as well. Who cares, dude? I think the performances are good. You get William Hurt playing Leto. He's one of the big names. The other big name is the guy who plays Baron Harkonnen. I can't remember what his name is, but it's such a good adaptation. It takes its liberties, but it also sticks pretty true to the book. I really love the miniseries. That's my favorite one. But David Lynch's is just cool, dude.
This discussion has been good, Josh, because I needed to suss out my own feelings of, is Dune lame? Or am I just unhappy with this movie?
I think you're unhappy with the movie, and I understand that. But Dune might, and I said this when you said you were going to read it.
The first movie still fucks. So
yeah,
that gave me a lot of.
The first movie is still good. I still have my issues with the first movie, but they were expounded in this movie, and that fucking ugh. That doesn't sit well with me. I still think the movie's fucking cool.
More positives, Josh. Lay on some positives. I've been going the positives.
If you have never read the books, and if you're not a kind of and I'm not saying this, okay? Calm down.
No, you can call me a fuddy duddy.
I was gonna say a movie snob, sure. like we can tend to be, and we know this about ourselves. This is a great fucking movie.
It didn't vibe with my tastes.
There you go.
Honestly, yeah. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
The whole, and again, somebody's going to tear me apart because there's real world cultures when I say shit like this.
Yeah.
But I'm like that native fucking like, oh, I'm going to adapt to their ways. And it's like the fucking first few episodes of fucking Book of Boba Fett. Drives me absolutely insane.
Yeah. No,
I hate that shit. But like, fucking God, what is his name? Tamor. Oh my God.
Tomo. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the man who plays Jango Fett.
Yeah.
You know,
Aquaman's dad.
Yeah, he's from, you know, New Zealand and that culture.
He's got the Maori thing going on.
And that being said, I love Moana. All right. Okay, don't at me, bro. But like I understand they want to bring that they want to bring culture into stuff like that. And I'm watching this, I'm like,
and the culture,
this is a fake fictional culture that I don't think the overall story is being fucking done any favors by being like, let's get into the nitty gritty.
Well, it's the culture of the Fremen is a big deal in the book, but it's also like like I said earlier, they're mostly like, a lot of people are just shocked that they thought they were fucking mindless savage nomads, and they've got all this advanced tech and have been, you know, working on something forever.
Outside of Duncan, Idaho talking about it, they did none of that. It made them all seem like a bunch of weird religious idiots.
Yes, and that's why I don't like the way they're represented in this movie, because they just look kind of backwards and fucking morons that are easily manipulated. And
or like a side tribe that's fucking fighting this war that the other people want nothing to do with because they went and hid away.
Oh, see, and that's not the entire. That's not the South isn't made up of fucking religious fanatics. There's a lot of hardliners in the South and stuff like that, but it's not this fucking hardline fucking division kind of thing in the book. You either believe he's the Muad'Dib or you don't, and fucking in the book, the whole reason he has to take on Still is because the guys that he's been fighting with, that he trained, that he taught the quote unquote weirding way. And I love the way they do the weirding way in these, because in a lot of other adaptions, they've got like fucking flash trails behind them and they're fucking dodging around. And in the fucking David Lynch one, the weirding way is you just say a word into a speaker box and it turns it into a laser, you know, fucking in this one, he just knows Kung Fu. That's it. And like, that's what he teaches him. He teaches him the weirding way, quote unquote. And like the weirding way also has to do with like the prescience and the fucking, you know, sort of the telepathy kind of thing that they can do, where they can convince you of things and shit like that. And cause like, I don't know how it fucking works, man. I don't know how to explain it. Because the Reverend Mother does make Paul believe that something's happening to his hand in that box.
Sure,
she's fucking with him the whole time.
Yeah. There's nothing actually in the box.
No, there's nothing in the fucking box. It's just a box. Yeah, but it's the suggestion. Yeah. Anyway, so there is a bit of that going on, but mainly when he notices, when you hear the first word, the weirding way, it's because Jessica fucks up one of their dudes trying to fucking take her on, and he's like, "Oh, you know the weirding way, shit," you know, and then Paul teaches him his strategies, because he's been fighting the Harkonnens for just about as long as they have.
Yeah.
You know, so they come together on that point. And there is the cultural thing where you got to do this and stuff like that. The younger men want him to fight Still so that he can get control of all the tribes, because Still's the man. Still's like their chief. And like in the book, he's just like the chief of these guys.
Yes.
No, but
he comes from the South. Look at his accent, which I thought was funny.
Which I thought was really funny, because nobody else talked like that.
I know, it was very funny. Like, really, we could have just not talked about it. But that's fine.
Right. No, it's
about your accent, Denis.
But I really liked that in this movie, like the weirding way was like, no, it's the guy takes a swing at him and he does a crazy fucking spin in the air and lands on his feet. You know, that fight with Fade was sick. I fucking love that. And while we're talking about Fade, fucking the Harkonnen planet, the coolest visuals in the entire movie. Everything's just washed out, black and white.
Super monochrome.
You've got these crazy like ink blot fireworks, and it's because of their black sun.
They really got to fucking because I didn't realize they actually did show that planet in the first movie, but it was nighttime.
Briefly, yeah, it was nighttime.
It was nighttime. So and it just seemed kind of normal. Like they looked how they looked.
There's also not a lot of talk in this movie about Seleucus Secundus, and Seleucus Secundus is kind of an interesting topic later in the book, because Baron Harkonnen mentions maybe turning Arrakis into a prison planet, and the Emperor's sidekick, interestingly enough, Femrin, who is, you get his wife in the movie. You don't get Fimrin, the Emperor's guy. You get his wife in that, and they turn her into a Bene Gesserit. And I don't think she's Bene Gesserit in the book. But anyway, she's barely in the fucking book. But I think she gets one line. But Fimrin, the guy, does it. And it's fucking whatever, dude. You made it. You made the girl more important. Big fucking deal. The fuck was I talking about? Oh, yeah. No, there's this whole thing where, like, Harkonnen says it to Fimrin. And then he gets kind of weirded out by it. And then you find out that Seleucia Secundus was probably a prison planet. And they basically turned these guys, genetically manipulated, brainwashed them, and then made super... Like, the Sardaukar are fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
They're horrifying. So... Paul creates the Fedaykin. They weren't there already. He creates the Fedaykin, and they're all the ones that know how to fight like him. They're the Death Troopers, basically. And then he's got his elite boys that are his bodyguards. I was going to say,
they're going to be the ones wearing the weird armor that he wore in that vision that he had in the first one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, those are his Fedaykin.
Got it.
And they're very cool. The Fedaykin and the Sardaukar are awesome, and you don't get
the Sardaukar in the first one. It was like, holy shit! And then in this one, they just kind of bust in and they'll just stand there.
They're just dudes.
They're like, I guess we'll just let the Emperor be taken.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, you guys fight till you're all dead, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You would think.
Sardaukar is sick, dude.
Yeah. So
and like, dude, Sardaukar are just basically walking weapons.
Mm-hmm.
They've got like, their hair isn't even hair. They've got fucking choke wires in their hair. They can garrot you with their fucking hair. They got shit in their fingernails. They've got multiple false teeth that do different things. Sardaukar are dope as shit.
The gas.
Yeah, they got the poison tooth. They got the gas. They've got one that like can trigger a fucking nuke or some shit like that.
That was so sick.
That was dope. Yui's a cool character. He's barely in the book, but he's one of my favorites for the time that he's there.
Yeah. Also a fucking moron.
Yeah, he was
absolute idiot.
They had him over
like,
a
dude,
barrel.
Baron Harkonnen. Well, they didn't.
Well, yeah, because Baron Harkonnen
because they were like immediately
asshole.
Was like, yeah, you're dumb as fuck. You're a dumb traitor. You're an idiot, and now you're dead. And I was like, yeah, bro, you should have saw it going down that way.
Honestly, yeah, dude. But like, I don't know. I have a little bit of a soft spot for Yui.
Sure.
But no, dude, I loved the way they did Getty Prime in this. It's so fucking sick looking. It's the best part of the movie for me.
So cool. It's just wow. It's where they really got to stretch their legs and do something, like have a good style because we weren't on the desert, thank God.
Yeah.
And they fucking fucking went for it, dude.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was, God, I haven't seen something that great since, like, I don't know, probably some shots, Vegas in fucking Blade Runner was probably the last thing that Denis did that, like, with him and Roger Deakins did that was like so great. This probably even better than that. It was amazing.
It was definitely completely.
I mean, almost the complete opposite. Lack of color.
Honestly, I thought it looked cool, and then I saw the fireworks, and that fucking killed me, dude. Just the weird orbital ink blots, so fucking sick, dude. Yeah,
it's one of those things where you don't even care how that works. You're just like, this looks awesome.
This looks incredible.
This is cool.
Yeah.
It's alien shit.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
So fucking cool, dude. No, and then I loved the way they shot the sandworms, riding on the sandworms. It looks like you're barely hanging on. That shit looks so cool. In the books, it's kind of like they're walking around on the worms and having conversations and shit like that. And I just love that, like, they're barely above the sand.
They did,
and they're just hanging on to it like you've roped a shark or something.
They did a little bit of that when they're talking. Like, it was a little goofy when they're like, we're gonna ride this bitch halfway across the planet, and I was like, okay. And that's one of those things where I'm like, it's Dune. This is just Dune. I'm gonna have to not. I'm not even gonna complain about it. It's goofy.
They talk about that in the book. They talk about that in the book. They talk about how far it is to get to the south, and I think it's like a 6-worm journey, a 6-thumper journey, and it's like they will ride that worm until it dies or until it tuckers out and just fucking drops. Basically, it's got to go to sleep. So they lay down another thumper, get another worm, take that worm, and they hop back and forth. So it's not like they take one worm.
Sure, yeah.
You know, it's I don't know. It's a tiny fucking detail though. Who cares?
Yeah,
but it is interesting.
Yeah, like I said, it's goofy shit, but like riding a fucking worm is goofy.
It
like,
just looks so cool. Paul grabbing that worm was so fucking sick.
That was the one bit that I really liked, where they were like, you know, throwing him kind of softballs for a while, but then it was like, this was the big one.
Yeah.
And then it didn't go as planned. They were like, oh no, this is bad. That's
dude.
a big motherfucker.
Oh, no. Well,
coming.
and see, that's the thing,
and
it
was cool.
Chani comes up and tells him everything he's doing wrong right off the bat. And they just let him do it in the book. And then because they all get up on the same worm. And then while they're up there, fucking Stilgar comes up and just reams him a new one. He's like, you have any fucking idea what could have happened to you? Do you have any idea how bad that was? You should have asked for help. You know, and that's why I like Stilgar, because he's got much more of a fatherly presence in the book instead of just a worshiper. I love Stilgar in the book. He's one of my favorite fucking characters. And in this movie, I fucking hated him. And that sucked. But
this movie really, really, really needed some Oscar Isaac type character in it, because
that's Stilgar. The last half of the book is
good
Stilgar.
in that first movie, man.
Oscar Isaac's so fucking great in the movie, dude. I love Duke Leto. He is my absolute favorite character in the book, and he's only in the first half. But like, you spend most of the first half of the book is about him trying to figure out who the fucking traitor is. He's not sleeping. He's barely eating. He doesn't trust Jessica. He acts like he's keeping Jessica at arm's length because he knows that that's what the Harkonnens want. Like, he knows the Harkonnens are doing this, and he's allowing the trap to surround him, but he's still freaking out the whole time. So he has to keep Jessica at arm's length. And he tells Paul straight up, he's just like, if it ever comes down to it, you need to tell her that I never lost trust in her, because she's the obvious suspect, because she's Bene Gesserit. And it, like I was saying earlier, dude, it's a big deal. Like, it's a big deal. They base their whole belief of not trusting her on the fact that Leto looked like he didn't trust his own fucking lady, dude. So they're just like, obviously it's fucking her, but they didn't set it up.
There was more to it. I get it.
You fucking dick.
Yeah, that's fine. Like I said, I'm like, you didn't fucking write it. I was just kind of like, you're like, no, not what you said. It's this other thing. And I was like, oh, that's much better. Yeah, I should have done that.
Fucking asshole.
But yes,
fucking
I
asshole.
get it. That makes sense. Yeah, if there's this big, long fucking thing, in this one, it was just like, and here comes the double cross.
Yeah.
It was some big,
the first movie was just so
thing
boom,
where
boom,
she
boom,
was
boom,
like
boom,
one of the
boom.
main suspects because she's fucking weird. And not to mention, they did set that up a little bit in the first one where she was like, I'm going to tell you about Paul. And he's like, I don't think I want you to. Like, you took him to your sister, and he's been fucking weird ever since, and shit is bad. And she's just like, well, you know.
No, I loved that bit. God, fucking. I
the
really
first
like the
movie's
first
way
movie.
better.
Yeah,
It's
the
so
first
much
movie's
better.
so much better, dude.
And I think we're in the minority.
We definitely are in the minority. And like, again,
people love this fucking movie.
Again,
and
honestly,
I don't blame them. It's not like it's some bad movie that people love. It is not to my taste, is what I will say.
No,
and I think you, as a lover of the books, have issue with.
Yeah,
it.
I was going to say, and me loving the book, and apparently I'm in the minority for the book lovers, where they're just like, oh, thank God they did it this way. And I'm like, no, they stripped everything out that made it weird and interesting, and now it's just like, we got to kill the bad guy. Now I run the planet.
We both feel the same way coming from different angles.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I don't like,
I feel like they make it generic in this movie. They really tone down all the wacky sci-fi.
Not to my taste. I don't like what they focus the story on. And for you, same thing, but it's because of all the other angles they could have, not the other angles, the other aspects of the story they could have focused on instead of lending so much time to this. And I don't like it either. And it's a bummer, and I know that the movie is good. Yeah. I do.
Oh, yeah.
I understand people like it, but goddamn.
Well, it's for me, it's what I absolutely love about what's going on with the movie is that it is getting such a buzz, and it is a new space opera cinematically. You know, I look forward to people hopefully down the road. You know, you're seeing Dune people like they are with Star Wars or Star Trek or something like that. Mm-hmm. I love that it's got such buzz around it because I have always loved
the
this
one
book.
Wheel guy who was riding the worm inside the movie theater.
Exactly. Yeah. That's sick as shit, dude. Like, I need more of that. Yes, dude. Come on, let's get something new out there. Even though this isn't new and it is another adapted property. but it's blowing up in such a way, you know, and he took such a risk with this. The fact that he did both movies, you know, like
when it was called Dune and then you didn't know it was going to be a multi-part thing until the opening credits where it said Dune, and then like very late it was like part one. And you're like, oh shit.
Damn it. Yeah. No, dude, I was talking to my dad the other day. He's like, I'm disappointed that like it didn't end. And I was like, yeah, you gotta watch the second one. This is where I'm going, you know? Yeah. I'm just happy that like it's just I want to break from Marvel and DC and Star Wars so bad, and it's just
luckily we're getting it,
and it's so cool that
X-Men,
to a point.
X-Men 97 is gonna be out fucking soon, actually this month, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
I love that cartoon, man.
I loved that show. This is not that.
You don't
not because
you
Rogue
don't know
not
that.
Because Rogue isn't caked up, man. It just doesn't look great to me. I don't know, dude. I think, dude. Honestly, you know what it is? I'm so tired. I'm so tired of the MCU, dude. That I see it and I'm like, whatever. But see. I know me. The day it premieres, I'm gonna be watching it.
Oh, I'm gonna make you watch it.
Oh no, you're not gonna make me watch it. I wasn't gonna tell you.
From
you demand so much.
I
from
do
me.
not.
You do so.
Kind of.
A little bit.
I mean, here's the thing. We're going to revisit the Dune topic in general. I'm going to watch this movie again. And I think this is going to be something we come back to, much like in the past where we've talked about Star Wars. It'll be like, we went 3 episodes without talking about Star Wars or something. We're going to talk about it. That might be Dune for us for a while.
But I like that it has that effect. And that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, this is something that's going to stick with people.
Yeah.
And I love that because there's a new space opera out there that people are talking about and they're either not for it or they're super for it.
Here's a question. Here's a question I have for you, Josh. You came in being like, I'm conflicted, and you're like your adaptation gripes and things like that. Were you expecting me to be so angry and not like the movie?
No, I was kind of expecting you to be like, because when we first talked about this a couple days ago, because there's been illness, we've both been sick, we're over it. We went and saw the movie, and then like we kept missing each other because of plans and stuff.
Yeah, we
work and
like
whatnot.
I said the last one, we're adults, we have things going on.
Yeah. But you had said to me one night, we hung out here for a little bit, dude, had a couple beers, and you said to me that you really liked it. But you also didn't, and you were still figuring it out.
See, the thing is,
so
I didn't say I really liked it. I said it's a good movie.
Okay, I heard you wrong then.
Yeah.
Because I thought you were going to be like, okay, this is why it's great, you know? And then you had a couple problems. I didn't know that you were further afield than I was.
I've never hated a better movie than this. Seriously. I think Interstellar was probably the last good movie that I really disliked.
A lot of people don't like Interstellar.
This is by far the best movie I have not enjoyed.
Yeah. God, that sucks, dude. But yeah, but I don't disagree with you either, dude. It's just, I think we're landing on two different sides of the coin on this one, where I'm just like,
I agree.
I think it's great that the cultural impact it's had, and a lot of my gripes with it, you could not put in the movie with the way that they set it up, and that's why I say they should have started with him getting the grandfather worm. Because if they had started with him getting the grandfather worm, that's really when the story takes off, in my opinion. That's when it gets more slam bang action. He starts getting weirder and weirder, and he's obviously manipulating them. But they set Jessica up early as the one who's doing everything, because they're doing this whole. And that's another thing that
it's that Last Jedi problem, Josh. Yes. They wanted to start it at the end of the last one.
Exactly.
To no benefit of it. If anything, a detriment to the movie.
Yeah, to a detriment to the story. Yeah. No. But this is the other thing that I love. As much as I wish that we got more Paul's like open and dickheadish manipulation, and then him being like, "Oh, well, you made me do it," and Jessica's like, "Yo, pump the brakes, bro." That was kind of cool. That's really cool in the book. But I do really like that she has this whole Lady Macbeth kind of angle in these, dude, where she's just like revenge at any cost. You're a god, whether you want to be or not.
See,
it's...
and I didn't get that from her, and especially watching, partly, but not fully the whole revenge at any cost. She was losing her fucking shit from the word go in the first movie. As soon as the Reverend Mother, the Emperor's fucking what do they call him? Fucking Truthsayer shows up and fucking stares at her. She's losing her shit that entire movie.
Yeah.
Until the fucking end, where all of a sudden she thinks that she's got a fucking angle on it working out good for them.
Yeah. No, she's much more crazy in the book than she is in the movie than she is in the book. In the book, she's like the straight arrow in there. She's like, oh no, we'll dabble into this because they've already been here and planted the seeds. So all we got to do is like, maybe, and it's a lot of what she does is because she knows the Bene Gesserit have already been there. Like the fact that she gives water away for free. She's like, that's going to make us look real good. Yeah. It's all her just being like, all we got to do is do a little bit of this and that. And they're going to think that we're fucking holy. And they're going to.
Also, can I say having a gigantic tub of water and being like, we wouldn't drink that if we were thirsting to death. I was like, well, that seems not great.
Yeah.
I get it. They're religious.
And if I remember right, there is like holy water that belongs to the tribe and everything. And then there's their water vat where they just have, and they talk about how they have hundreds of thousands of those under the sand all over the place. It wasn't just that one.
Yeah, Duncan. I know Duncan
because Duncan
brought it up. How many Sietches there were, and how many per Sietch there, and that's when Leto is like millions, and he's like, and they were like, dude, the Harkonnens thought there was only 50,000.
Well, see, and that's
total.
That's a thing that constantly comes up in the book too. Is that fucking? It's a great conversation between the Emperor and him, where he's just like, it's just only like 20,000, and he's like, no, idiot, like the Emperor knows, because he's just putting it together. By how the numbers aren't matching up between what he said they have and how many have died and how many have fucking he's like there's something wrong with your fucking numbers, dude. And it's just the Atreides came in and they tried to know the people, which was the better move. And the Harkonnens came in and were like savages, and it's really cool to get that juxtaposition through the whole book. And like also,
is it my understanding that in the book they both, it wasn't like, so in this it was like, oh, he took it away from them and then they came back and wiped him out under the Emperor's like little cheeky move. Keep saying cheeky, but it was my understanding that right in the book it was just that he also let the Atreides go there and they were running operations at the same time and warring on Arrakis as it was happening.
No. Fucking Harkonnens fucked up. The Emperor got pissed, so he put him there.
Okay.
And he was also trying to get rid of him.
Yes,
because he is a very popular man. Everybody
they were
loved
gaining
Duke
a bunch of notoriety.
Everybody loved Leto. So he had to fucking do that. He had to do what he did. He did have to do what he did. Yeah. And he did help him out.
Even he liked him, but he saw it as a threat to his shit too,
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Because I liked Florence Pugh talking about, like, he said nothing when he learned about the Harkonnen attack. And I was like, it was all good. A lot of the movie is good. Don't get me wrong. It's a great movie. But fucking goddamn do I not care about names and learning the ways of these fucking people. And fucking how many visions of different shit do you need? Spice visions, life fucking water visions, fucking then when he has his most important one, like you brought up, it was like, let's not even talk about that. He just says, no, I see it and I know what I'm doing. And I was like, you want to let us in on this, bro? Oh no, we're holding this for the next one. Fine.
You're good. Yeah, I think you would like the mini series, dude, because you do see that vision and everything. It's a really good adaptation. I fucking love the miniseries.
And then like Anya Taylor-Joy, I've been watching a lot of interviews with her just because award season's around and whatever else.
Yeah,
and they're all just like, oh, she's poised to have a huge part in the next one, huge part in the next one, huge part in the next one, and I'm just kind of like,
she will,
and I'm just like, all right.
But like so they have to skip over Aaliyah's whole childhood where like the Fremen are terrified of her because she is an abomination. Like, she's not supposed to be. Like, they find out she's pregnant, and they're like, fuck!
What have we done?
Yeah, and then when the truth sayer, the Reverend Mother, meets her, she's just like, oh shit, she's in about, and she starts play acting that she's like messing with her mind and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, fucking, and Aaliyah's like, tell her to fucking stop. I'm not doing anything, It's
but she instead called called Paul an abomination in this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because she's freaked out by him too, but Aaliyah's the abomination.
But he's more something they had planned on creating.
Exactly, but now he's much more. Aaliyah is like a freak because like
I'm getting mad, Josh. We need to stop because I'm just like, Dune seems cool, and I fucking want it to be cool. I want these movies to be that for me, and this one pissed me off. So we'll see. Let's see how they wrap this bad boy up.
If we're gonna watch the David Lynch one, you get a very young Alicia Witt playing Dune, and she's my favorite Aaliyah. She's barely in the movie, but she gives the it's so creepy. She fucking the nukes hit, and then the storm hits because he attacks during a fucking crazy ass sandstorm, and the sandworms pretty much just charge the palace. It's dopey shit, and then fucking when the nukes hit. They're like, oh, what's going on? And they go over to Alicia Witt, and she's just got this creepy ass smile, and she goes, "My brother comes," and it's horrifying, dude. She's so good in the movie as Alicia Witt, as Aaliyah. I fucking love Aaliyah. Aaliyah is such a good tragic character, and she's one of my favorites from the whole series. I fucking love her. Yeah. But I think we've reached a point.
I think that's it, man.
Enjoy the movie.
Yeah,
Don't let our fucking huge ass rant where we yelled at each other sully your vision of this. It is a great fucking film.
If this was just some piece of crap, we would not have this
discourse.
Yeah. Again,
we wouldn't still be talking about this, and we're going to revisit this topic at some point.
We are. This is a definite rewatch for me. Like I said, I watched the first one before we even talked about it. I think I watched it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And then, I watched it again, and I'm just like, all right, I'm not crazy. I am disappointed with this movie, not the property.
See, and that's
and you've made that clear as well. So okay. I appreciate it.
Well, see, and that's my point about the other night when we talked about it. I didn't know that you were this down the rabbit hole. I thought that you were
I'm looking up MS-DOS game adaptations.
Yeah, I'm actually amazed at your level of research. But no, man, I think it's unfortunate that you were that disappointed in the film.
Yeah,
because as much as I have huge problems with the adaptation, I still think it was a worthwhile film.
It might be one of those things when the story concludes where I look differently on this chapter of it.
I do find it interesting the way that he's going to conclude this, because you're gonna get like some big shit. Like if he does everything in Dune Messiah that happens, like it's a good end to the story, and I would wonder if he would go forward with the other 3 books.
Yeah. It's like, and I hate, trust me, this isn't the same quality or anything, but other sagas that we've discussed in depth. Yeah. It's like, I did not care for fucking the Civil War era of the MCU, but you know what? It actually ended up paying off in a good way near the end of that story.
Yeah.
And I look back on that differently now. Who knows what the future holds for my opinion of this part 2, but
yeah, because he's definitely assured to get to make Dune Messiah, dude.
The thing made
the thing almost made 200 million.
This was the real test of, did people just watch that first one because they were at home and had nothing to do and they put it on HBO Max that you got a free trial for at that time?
Yeah,
and then no, this movie fucking killed it. So
oh yeah, dude. Like I was saying, dude, made almost 200 million its open weekend.
Yeah,
dude. That's fucking crazy.
They
were projected to make 100 something million, and it made almost 200. I think it made 190 million its opening weekend.
They're killing it. He's almost assured that he can make another one.
Oh,
So.
for sure. Yeah, no, we're gonna get another.
And good
Dune.
for him. And I look forward to what he's going to make.
He's
next.
an incredible filmmaker. The guy has not missed for me once yet, dude. I love Prisoners. I love fucking Blade Runner 2049. I loved the first Dune. I loved this Arrival.
Sicario.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that he made Sicario.
Dude,
especially because the second one they went with such schlock with it. But yeah.
Oh yeah. I actually watched the second one.
Oh, have you seen it?
Yeah.
It's schlock, right?
Oh, dude.
Okay.
Dude, no, man. No. Fucking fuck that movie. It was cool. It was cool to watch just a fucking slam bang action movie. But I was like, man, you missed the fucking point of Sicario, dude. Prisoners is also a different, because like he did Prisoners and I think he did Arrival and then he did Sicario, I think, right? Was that the order?
I think Sicario was before Arrival.
Was before Arrival? Yeah. Well, because like Prisoners is like this fucking kidnapping story of a cop and two fathers that are trying to find their daughters that were kidnapped by a guy, and just how far the fathers are willing to go, and the cop basically descending into this madness while trying to investigate.
It was Prisoners, Enemy, Sicario, Arrival.
Oh god, Enemy's really good too.
Blade Runner,
and
and
Enemy.
Dune.
Enemy's fucking weird. It's a great movie. Giant spider, weird.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, Denis Villeneuve, fucking incredible filmmaker.
Yeah.
One of my favorite new directors.
A guy, it's something you don't see much anymore. A guy who makes fucking like genre blockbusters with the fucking with the just surgical precision of a weird like auteur,
right? Yeah,
director.
like dude, these are A24 movies with a budget.
Yeah,
dude,
it's crazy. There's not a lot of people that pull that off.
No, dude, and he's
I can't, honestly, I'm trying
bangers
to sit
all the
here
way
and
through.
think who even Nolan, I guess, is probably the only other guy.
Nolan, yeah, dude.
When it comes, as much as I fucking hate him, but like The Dark Knight was a blockbuster
phenomenon.
Genre movie that had a real.
Oh, Batman Begins, dude.
Yeah. So I mean, Dark Knight Rises fucking was just a straight up piece of crap.
I feel like he didn't even want to make.
Yeah, it's just a piece of crap that I love, but yeah.
So like, please watch the fucking.
Yeah,
movie.
well, go and fucking watch it.
Please watch the fucking movie. It's a good fucking movie. We're just being dicks. Like, please go watch the movie.
Yep. So that'll wrap this long one up.
This was a lot longer than I think we thought it would.
I'm sure it was scatterbrained. I'm sure it was entertaining. At least I hope so.
Right. A lot of yelling.
Here comes the spiel, guys. You can find us on all major podcasting apps like iTunes, not iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, I believe is still a thing. Maybe not. I don't know. Spotify, whatever. Spotify, Apple. I think we might even be on Audible. I have to double check that. We're on YouTube. We are Mighty Fish Productions on YouTube. That's where you can find our Twitch VODs, as well as our original program, Classic Ketchup. When it comes to Twitch, you want to watch that live, it's twitch.tv/MightyFishTV, where we are currently playing through Baldur's Gate 3. You can watch all 3 of the current episodes on YouTube, and people seem to like those, so check them out. You can catch that live tentatively on Mondays, although we have not kept to that schedule.
Yeah. We're actually talking about rescheduling to find an easier night for both of us. Because
we're working on
it. It's Monday's kind of a rough night.
We want the episodes to be meaningful, and it's a slow go through that game. So we're really trying to find something that works for us. Yeah. But on top of that, we have our individual streams, some co-ops here and there, twitch.tv/MightyFishTV, and you can follow us there. Find out when we go live, either through doing the notifications, or you can follow us on X, Twitter, formerly known as Twitter. We're at Mighty Movie Pod, and we always tweet out when we're live there. So that's how you can find us.
Indeed.
Yeah, I'm getting good at that spiel. I think I brought that up last time.
Really good.
Wow. Thanks so much for listening.
Yeah, I hope you hung in there for the whole thing past the shouting.
Fucking dude.
Definitely tune into us trying to figure out what kind of writing is. Writing
yes,
is.
Right. Yeah. I actually feel bad bringing that up, where I'm just like, I understand books. and how they're written. Now, tell me the intricacies of first, second, and third person.
Well, dude, I'm the one here being like, the book. And I'm like, I don't know what narratives are.
But normal people, but you don't have to be a fucking book guy to read a book. A book is like for everybody.
Yeah, books are good. Read them.
I feel like if you're talking about a book you like and somebody goes like, yeah, I just wasn't sure about the second person narrative they went with. And you're like, we're back on it. Holy shit. Thank you so much for listening. Movies are back, everybody. Give it to Denis making fucking adaptations.
Woo! And Godzilla -1.
And Godzilla -1. And let's not forget Madam Web. He was in the Amazon with my mom researching spiders right before she died.
I almost doubled down on that and then had to catch myself, you fucking monster.
and Madam Web.
I was like, Madam Web.
We'll be back. We'll be back next week with we're going to talk about a couple of shows. Couple of adaptations again. So look forward to that. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. I'm drunk. My name is Ryan.
I'm still Josh.
And we will catch you in the next one. Goodbye. I know the button now.